What's up, guys? Blade Master here, bringing you part 3 of the mini series that I have on how to beat the Jutes. In this matchup that I've played against AVA Granitor, it's basically the same build that he brought. No, actually, I think he's changed the Nordic Horse Raider, which is a smart move. Yeah, I would never bring the Nordic Horse Raider. He changed that unit, but besides that, it's basically a carbon copy of the same build that he brought, and I've brought the same build with the Ostrogoths. And the only difference here is that he just wanted to check out initially how the Pikes worked in Attila, if he could just straight up front charge them and they wouldn't do anything. And he was like, okay, I'm going to play seriously now, and I'm going to try and move around the Pikes, and let's see how well I do. So that being said, brace yourselves for one of the most epic matches that I've played in Total War Attila. And I've played quite a few really strong games. Really good games, and most of them have been when I've taken Pikes, simply because I think I make a lot of mistakes when I play with Pikes, and that just ends up making the battle very close. So he's got his Nordic Horse Lodge here, and I'm going to pop Diamond Formation on my Germanic Horsemen and then charge into them. I think that should be pretty decisive. The Nordic Horse Lords will win, but my noble Germanic Horsemen, at least in this case, will win. And I'm also going to follow up with Thracian Warriors, who've already taken so many casualties. They weren't even getting charged at directly, but still they took a ton of casualties. Herdman over here getting charged at by noble Germanic Horse. I'm pulling away with my Germanic Horse here, and then letting my Gothic Falseman charge into his Nordic Spearman. Here his Herdmen, actually after the initial shock of getting slaughtered by those noble Germanic Horse, they've actually done pretty decently. They're holding out now. Meanwhile, my Germanic crossbowmen are shooting into his Herdmen. I'm also charging in with some more of my noble Germanic Horse. He's coming in with some Nordic Horse Lords, though. Got a clean charge on my noble Germanic horseman here, and I need to be worried about this extra cav unit that he has over there. I'm also bringing one Gothic pikeman to come in, and I've set an attack order with them just to see how responsive they are. So they are moving pretty nicely. I mean, it seems pretty decent so far. As for this battle, the Viking captain is engaging with elite Ostrogothic pikemen, and I think, let's see whom I've got an attack order set on with these guys. I don't know. I don't have an attack order on his Viking captain. Still, my Germanic horsemen are getting ganged up on by Nordic Horse Lords and just so many herdmen. And on top of these, the fear penalty and everything, they're just going to waver very quickly and rout. Thracian Warriors getting 64 kills in a single experience run, done okay so far. They're still very expensive units, so I don't really know if they've been cost effective. Here the Gothic Falksmen got 78 kills, and they're going to try and help out against this Nordic Horse Lords. Noble Germanic Horsemen, after getting the initial number of kills, they've started to waver and rout. I've got one Gothic pikeman here that's got 29 kills, but now it's completely left alone. They are getting quite a few kills on these Royal Huskars though, which is good. But as for my general strategy, I'm starting to box up now. I'm trying to move into a more blockish formation with the rest of my pikes. 34 kills with my Gothic pikes here, and my crossbowmen are just going to be the key to my victory here. His Viking captain have taken quite a few casualties. My elite Ostrogoths really haven't done much. This is just another example of Pikes not working well in Total War Attila. I mean, there's a big chance that they will, completely fuck up and act like this in Total War Attila. It's very similar to Total War Rome 2 in that sense. So yeah, these elite Ostrogoths just not doing much. 23 kills and they're just about done. So I'm forced to box up now, and I'm going to pull back with one of my Germanic crossbows against his herdmen. They take a few casualties, but I managed to pull them out pretty successfully, all things considered. And he's got a lot of cavalry at this point, so what I'm going to do is just box up. I'm forced to box up. I have nothing else, no other option. I've lost all my cavalry, despite them doing a good deal of damage initially. I think I was just too aggressive with them, and I obviously had no infantry support apart from those Thracian Warriors and Falksmen, who themselves died very quickly. So now I'm forced to box up. I'm going to put one crossbow on either side, on either flank, basically covering all directions, almost all directions. This one is not going to be covered, but he's got all of his units on this side anyways. So they're now in the safety of my pike box. I wouldn't really rely on the Gothic pikemen though to try and help me or to try and save me from this. Here, my Germanic crossbowmen, who are the ones who really do all the damage, are starting to get a good number of kills on these Nordic horse lords. Just so effective against cavalry, especially with flaming shot on. They're just deadly. So I'm just maneuvering and fine-tuning my pike box here, and he started to charge in with his herdmen. Herdmen are just don't have the melee attack or the aggressiveness in general to try and to win them a battle against pikes. Although that fear ability is pretty scary for units that have such low morale. So I'm shooting more bolts with my Germanic crossbowman, and I think his general is dead too. No, his general is not dead. His general is right here, Viking captain. But they only have 55 units left, and they're going to be charging into the front of the pikes and into the front of elite Ostrogothic pikemen. And this is one of the few instances where they'll actually do well. So yeah, already the enemy general has been killed, and these Germanic cavalry are just not going to do anything. They're just going to get slaughtered by pikes. More Germanic crossbowmen fire, destroying more Nordic horse lords. These Gothic pikemen, though, like I was suspecting, they're just not doing too well against against those herdmen. But those herdmen have also routed. And yeah, for now the pike box is sort of staying steady, but I've lost a ton of Gothic pikemen, even though they were charged frontally. So I'm forced to move them into a super thin line and again just cover all my, make sure there are no holes, no gaps in my pike box. Royal Huskars here getting just slaughtered by Germanic crossbows. 105 kills, and there we go, those Royal Huskars are also shattered. One really reassuring thing about crossbow infantry is that they have so much ammo that you don't need to be worried about conserving your ammo or like making sure you get the best angle. Destroying some more of his Nordic horse lords who are already shattered anyways. But meanwhile, these Royal Huskars are sort of making it into the Gothic pikeman unit. The morale of them is still decent though. Morale at 50. Wow. I have no idea. I guess it's because I'm winning. That's why their morale is increased. Royal Huskars here. Some of my elite Ostrogoths are getting some kills on them. Germanic crossbows though basically doing all the work for me. Herdmen just not doing too much, especially with flaming shot. Their morale is down to 1. What was that? Yeah, their morale is at 1. And yeah, that's basically it for them. The Royal Huskars, they are slowly dying, and I'm forced to again rearrange my pike box because more and more of my Gothic pikemen unit are dying. It's smart from Granitor to just focus on this Gothic pikemen because they're clearly the weak part of my box. These elite Ostrogoths though, they're also dying very quickly. Yeah, wow, they're just getting slaughtered. Only 19 kills with these elite Ostrogoths. Well, some people on the forums are saying that pikes are actually OP, which just makes absolutely no sense. They don't even perform well when they're when they're frontally charged. Anyways, Pyrrhic victory to me. So it seems pretty clear that one of the easiest way to deal with Jutes is by using a pike heavy build and bringing some crossbowmen, or maybe even bringing some archers. But I wouldn't really count on archers to win you the game. They just don't have enough ammo. Even if first of all their missile damage isn't great, and on top of that they don't have enough ammo for them to really win you a game against an infantry rush. Instead, bringing Germanic crossbows is almost a necessity. 116, 101, and 109 kills each on these units, so they definitely paid off. Gothic Falksmen and Thracian warriors didn't do as well as I expected, and my elite Ostrogoths and my Gothic pikemen just about managed to hold out. That's just about how much you can expect from them though, because I think CA's got the pricing right on these units. They're very cheap, and they just don't perform very well, but they're good at just holding out and holding a line. My noble Germanic horsemen did pretty decently, 96 kills, 145. And Germanic horsemen were an abject failure. As for his Granitor's army, the Royal Huskars kind of underperformed. The herdmen did very, very well. I think these are one of the best low/mid-tier infantry in the game. Nordic horse lords did pretty decently as well. Anyways, guys, that's the end of this battle and the end of this little series. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more. Peace.